Hi Terry, this is part 2 of your homepage screencast, how to edit the homepage within MODx. I've gone ahead and opened the homepage and within MODx, the MODx Manager. We've covered how to edit the resource content, so now I'm going to scroll down and we'll look at the template variables section. So the first is activate alert. You'll notice as we look at the home page in another tab, there is no alert, but let's go ahead and turn that on by clicking the radio button and then left clicking on save. I'll keep it at continuing editing in the drop down menu because I want to make some changes here. And let's refresh our page by right clicking and I'm going to go at the top and just select the name from the address bar and hit enter, and we should see that our messaging appears, which it does. We can change any of this text, and we can also change the link in which this goes to. Right now it's going to the practice areas. If we wanted, we can change this alert messaging here, and we can select another page, and I'll save that, and that should change. Instead of more info taking us to the practice areas page, it should take us to the lawyers page. So I'm going to right click and refresh. I'm using Firefox, so this may look a little different if you're using Internet Explorer. And now if we mouse over, you can see that the link at the bottom left of the browser is showing obxlawyers.html, and it's going to take us there when we click it. So that is the activate alert section. The next 6 template variables correspond to what I call the hero banner images in that slider of the home page. So that is these large full screen or full width images. You'll notice these are they're also responsive, so if I shrink this down, you can see how this is nicely getting smaller, and it will look great for any device, which is great. If we have a mobile device, you'll notice that the menu it shrinks up. So that's the great feature about the code in this. I just wanted to quickly go over that. But if we jump back now to the hero banner, if we want to change this, we can by inserting a new image. You'll just want to make sure it's 1600 by 466. I'll pull up I'll click the insert button, and you'll notice this is looking on the web server itself, and I've created some folders to organize these images for you. Here's an attorney photo. We'll get into that later. Let's look at the practice areas. Let's look at the slider photos is where we want to pull from. Right now I'm looking at a list view, but I can also change that to thumbnails and get a visual of which images I'd like to use. So this is a good point. I'm going to have to hit refresh here. There you go. Now they're showing up. If we want to change this, we can just left click, double click on the image itself, and it will automatically replace the current image that we have. So we can save that. We can also modify the text if we want. I'm just going to change the image, and then now I'm going to go back and right click and refresh the page in the other tab. So you can see that's great. It's got a new image there, and we can change it back just as easy by clicking the insert button. You want to make sure you find the pop-up window in some browsers. You want to make sure your pop-ups are allowed for this website, because it is required. You won't be able to edit using your iPad, because I know the iPad doesn't do too well with MODx, but otherwise all other browsers and environments are pretty good. So your desktop computer, whether it's Windows or a Mac, is going to work fine. Okay, so we've changed it back, and we can refresh it and see that that Dune photo gets replaced with the gavel. Great. Okay, so that's the first slider, and then the first slider text. We have the same second slider and second slider text, same functionality for the second slider and second slider text. The same functionality for the third slider and the third slider text. All right, so the next section here is related to all of your contact information, your address, your phone numbers, email. This is getting populated throughout the entire site at the bottom of the page, or the footer of the page. So you've got your address here, you've got phone numbers here. As well, you've got a directions page, and that will show more detail on the mailing list, or I'm sorry, the mailing address, your physical address, as well as your email. So if any of those values change, you can make the change on your home page resource, which is the resource ID of 1, and it will be reflected across the entire site. We have not gone over the next 3 yet, which are your SEO template variables. They are, the first is change frequency, which is related to how often you feel this your page should change. This should be more frequent for the more important pages. So your homepage I've put set to weekly. Even if it doesn't change weekly, let's keep it there, because Google will come back and re-index this more often. I've set the Google sitemap priority at 1, which is the highest. So you'll want that for your homepage, and your most important pages are closer to 1. Least less important are on down into 0.5, 0.6. Your keywords here, all of the keywords you want associated with your specific page. I noticed there's a typo there. And these are going to show up in the meta tags of the page. It's a little bit of minutia here, so hopefully it won't scare you away. But if we view the page source, you can see the HTML code here, and we've got our description showing up. Our keywords are not showing up. Why is that? Let's go back and find out. That's because we have not put them in the directions page. We have put them only in the home page. So we'll view the source here. I've gone back to the home page, and now you can see that our keywords here, home page, home, are all showing up. So you want to make those as specific as possible to your individual page, and make sure they relate to some of the content that is on the page too. All right, I think that covers how to edit your home page, all of the template variables. One thing I'll point out, in the settings tab, you can publish or unpublish a page by clicking this button. If you wanted to release the page at a later date, you could set a publish date, and it would automatically become active. The rest you don't really need to worry about. Those should be left alone. That's part 2 of your homepage. Homepage editing in MODx. Hope that's been useful, and if you have questions, please let me know.